Are you thinking of entering your first team roping jackpot? Are you unsure of what to do or how to enter? Have you been to a team roping jackpot and not real clear on some of the things that were said or some of the actions that were done? Well, by golly, you've come to the right video, because I'm here to answer them questions today. So hey y'all, welcome back to Bayou Farm Life. So like y'all heard in the intro, I'm here to answer some very commonly asked questions about team roping, the ins and outs, the how-tos, and I hope after this video y'all have a more clear understanding. We'll be going over things such as the entry cards, the flagger, a rotation, a 3 or 4 head roping, and much more. So y'all stick around and let's get right into it. So question number 1, entry cards. There are several different formats of entry cards. The one that you're looking at right now is the most commonly used entry card that I have found. I've seen several different formats of them, but this has been the most common for me. So as you can see up here, you'll have your roping number. So up here you'll put whether it is a 6 roping, a 10 roping, a 12 roping, whatever it is, you'll put that up here. Then moving down, you see obviously your header and your heeler. So if you have a partner in this roping, you'll put your header under the header's name. If you are the header, then you put your name there. If you are the heeler, you put your name obviously where the heeler spot is. If you don't have a partner and you're just drawing open, you will leave the opposite line blank. Whether you are a header or a heeler, you will leave the other one blank. Sometimes in the office, they will write open. Sometimes they'll just leave it blank. Now to the right of each of these names, you'll see the roper ID number. USTRC, World Series, there's a few different classifications. They will give you a number, and this number is based on how well you rope. So you would write this number on this line. That way, if you win, they can look you up to make sure you're not roping as a lower number roper than what you actually are, if that makes sense. So now moving right along to a 3 or a 4 head roping. What that means is if it's a 3 head roping, you will have your first round, you will have your second round, and you will have your short round, which would be your 3rd round. A 4 head roping, you just add one more round. So you would have your first round, second round, 3rd round, then your short round. So then you would end up roping 4 head. You only get to rope your next round steer if you catch the previous one. Say I rope my first steer, we are clean, we get a time, I go to the second round, and I miss or my header misses, we're done. We don't rope our 3rd steer or our 4th steer depending on what roping is. Most commonly for where I live, a 4 head is a very common roping. I don't really know about elsewhere. I just know in this area, it's mostly a 4 head. Now then, moving right along to rotations. Rotations can be a very confusing thing until you understand them. So let's say we go to a jackpot and there is, let's say there's 300 teams in this jackpot. Instead of running the full first round, then the full second round, then the full 3rd round going into the short go, they may say, let's do 50 team rotations. So they'll run the first 50 teams. That 50 teams will run their second steer. They will then run their 3rd steer, as long as they're catching, so on and so forth. They rope all of their steers all the way down to the short round. They don't rope the short round yet. So then they'll go to the second 50 teams. So then they'll go from 51 to 100. They'll run their first, their second, their 3rd, so on and so forth, until all 300 teams has completed their first, second, and 3rd steer. Then you will take all of your rotations, put them together, and they have one short go. Now the reason for that is, say my runs are all within the first, let's say 75 teams, okay? I don't have to sit there and wait for the other 225 or whatever it is to rope to know if I'm gonna get another chance in the next round. They go ahead, let's go ahead and run these guys. Let's see if they're gonna catch. That way they know if they can leave or if they need to stay. Like I said before, it is extremely confusing until you understand it. Once you understand it, it really is kind of nice. Now then, let's talk about the flagger. I've seen so many people complain about flaggers, and honestly, I cannot deny I've actually done it myself. But the flagger has a really stressful job. They have a split second to make a decision on a time or on whatever it may be. They don't have a replay they can go watch. They have a split second. And they're human. They're gonna make mistakes just like we would make mistakes. We may see something differently than they've seen it, or they may see something that we didn't see. So I get the aggravation of feeling like a flagger made a wrong call, but sometimes they might have seen something that we didn't see, or they know something that we don't know. Now let's talk about reruns. Sometimes in team roping, if we draw a bad steer, or if the steer stops or falls down across the pin or something silly, they'll give you a rerun. That don't always happen. I see a lot of people that whenever they miss or they feel like the steer wasn't good, they're gonna go ask for a rerun. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. It just depends on the flagger and how they're feeling. Now, in my experience, in the short round, no reruns. You get what you draw and you just gotta hope for the best. And it's not just for you, it's for everybody in the short round, so it's fair. Now, last but not least for this video, let's talk about the shoot help. The shoot help is a very, very, very important part of a team roping. It is the heartbeat of a team roping and how to make a team roping run smooth. I've seen so many times where ropers have just took it for granted of having this shoot help here. These guys and girls are not out here just breaking the bank. They're out here more or less helping us, making our jobs nice, making this roping run smooth. I've seen it so many times where people, I guess you could say, take it for granted of having this help here instead of feeling honored and happy to have them there. Say I make a bad run and I ride down to the end of the arena to the strip and shoot, which is exactly what it sounds like. Cow goes in there, you strip the ropes off, they run the cows out. There's guys down here working this in the middle of the summertime or in the middle of the wintertime, and they're just as hot or just as cold as you. They don't get a break. They don't get to get off their horse and go sit on the bleachers and cool down or sit in front of a heater and warm up. They stay out in it and they stay going. So we make a bad run, we ride down to the strip and shoot, they take our ropes off and we just ride off, no big deal. Why not take a second and a half of your time and tell them thank you? Because truly without them, it would be such an aggravation. So on the count of three, let's all say it together. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. It takes that long. That's gonna make that guy or lady feel so much better about themselves, like they're appreciated, because truly they are appreciated. Like I said, they're not out here breaking the bank. They're out here just helping us, making a little bit of money, and they're in the same elements that we're in. And it don't go for just the strip and shoot people. I mean the guys that works the head gates, the guys that pushes the steers up and down the return alley, the guys that loads the steers into the chute. They all have to work together. And without them, a roping just really would not go smooth. So next time you're at a roping, make sure and tell them thank you. So the last topic really hits home to me. I feel like a lot of times some ropers, and this don't go for just ropers, this goes for really just any kind of equestrian sports, barrel racing, team roping, calf roping, all of it. They have people that's working, and I feel like a lot of times we don't really look down our noses at them, but we don't really respect them as much as they need to be respected. Just like road construction, you have flaggers. We don't really respect them flaggers for what they do, but if you think about it, them flaggers is potentially saving lives of people driving down this road while we have men and women out here working on this road. They're controlling traffic and making sure all their fellow employees are staying safe. The shoot help situation is not so extreme as a life or death, I guess, but it is the same type of deal. We don't respect them for what they do. So I really hope this answers some of your questions about team roping and makes you feel a little more comfortable in the team roping atmosphere. If you have any questions or any comments or want me to elaborate on anything further, make sure drop them in the comments below. I will do my best to explain them to you. Thank y'all for watching, and I hope to see y'all Tuesday.